Imagine cultures weren't separated by borders. We would live the state of full inclusion, and we would call ourselves global citizens. In 1996, I joined IESEC, a student organization established in 1948 after World War II. They wanted to create a state of cross-cultural understanding, change the world, one student, one internship at a time. As a daughter of a World War II refugee, I was inspired by the idea of overcoming hatred and war by building cross-cultural understanding in everyone. My aspiration of living and exploring the world, going abroad, over the years got complemented by having children and a career. And the idea of changing the world, one person, starting with myself, and one action at a time, became a motivator. When my husband, Stefan, and I planned to get married, I openly spoke about the idea of having children. And I heard comments such as, Vanessa, you're going to ruin your career. And my dad started talking to me about having a choice, that my generation of women is privileged to have a choice either to go to work or to have children. We agreed that we do not agree. I chose to have a family, a career, and going abroad. So here is the story of a family of 4 going on an international assignment to Shanghai, China. All of us making short-term adjustments, but no long-term sacrifices to our aspirations and values. We grew and developed above and beyond what we could have imagined by the time we left Germany for Shanghai. In 2010, my husband came home asking or telling me that he had been asked to go on an assignment. He said, you're going to like the location, Shanghai. And I still see myself sitting on our sofa going, 1, 2, 3, let's pack. Shanghai, I fell in love with during my traineeship. This vibrant, multi-million Chinese city with a spicy dash of international community. I was naive to think that my employer at that time would easily find me a local position so I could follow up on my career. Instead, I received questions and concerns about the care of my children and whether I would really want to leave them with a Chinese nanny. Ouch. That was really tough. In the end, they offered me a part-time position, not knowing what I was supposed to do in China. Not enough of a challenge. I had to let go. I got myself into psychological counseling and coaching to let go of the company, to deal with the fact that I was already alone with a 6 and a 2-year-old back in Germany, and to really figure out what I wanted to do in China. On top of it all, I was coping with severe back pain, which would last 3 years until I found the solution. Stefan, meanwhile, had talked to his boss, and his boss gave the clear advice, ensure that your wife is happy. And happiness for me at that time meant I wanted to follow up on my career. So in summer 2011, family Ehlers, husband Stefan, Madita 6, Smilla 3, and myself climbed on the roller coaster Shanghai, fastened seatbelts tight, and went on. So here it is. I started working in Shanghai with the help of Stefan's boss, and I'm super grateful for this opportunity. I lost the same job due to reorganization. Harshest and best career experience so far. I learned how to lose my job and not to be afraid of it anymore. Only 3 months later, the same company knocked on my door asking whether I would come back to a way better paid position, super interesting job. I couldn't go back into corporate at that time. I had to follow up on a dream. I became a professional coach and opened up my own company called Sino-Western Coaching. The very first time, I was really on my own, no big corporate behind me. And I had so many helping hands around me. One friend said to me one day, Vanessa, you're in Shanghai. You can try everything and fail. And people will still admire you for the fact you dare to try. A client gave me the friendly advice to study Chinese to increase my understanding of Chinese culture. He was right. I was in this country for 3 years, the most spoken language on earth, and I didn't really follow up on it, learning it. I was not able to have a conversation with a taxi driver, and I hated it. He only told me what I knew already. I should have studied Chinese in the first place and then got myself a job. But hey, that's life. Find the error, correct it, and move on. Smilla, meanwhile, grew from a kindergarten child into a primary school child. And she was our family liaison officer. She connects with everyone. If you want to find life on Mars, just bring her there. She will find it and ask to play. Madita became a quick-witted, self-assured middle school girl who could tell her teacher that the two of them had to have a talk. Stefan started giving speeches in Chinese to show his gratitude for the colleagues he was working with. His Chinese wasn't good, but he did great. We met a zillion of people. We made so many friends. We traveled China and Asia to learn where we lived. Now you might ask yourself, when did you guys catch a breath? We didn't, and we didn't have to. We enjoyed every single step of the way. Well, this getting fired wasn't too cool, to be honest. So we consider this for us a full success as a family, as life partners, for the children, career-wise. We still live off this experience budget that we collected over those 5 years in Shanghai. So what made it so successful? I would like to share 3 principles with you, how I, as a working mother, moved on an international assignment. So number 1, don't think you have to make a choice. You can have it all. Maybe not at the same intensity level at every given point in time, but you do not need to sacrifice one aspiration for the other. None of us would become a farmer, buy cows in order to have a glass of milk, right? So if we would focus on the opportunities that all of our aspirations entail, and less on the unlikely negative consequences, we could have a way more fulfilled life. The fear of not having a career with having children did not come true. It's rather a matter of expectation being the parent of all frustration. Adjusting my expectation towards what career means and what a good mother is made me way more successful in the end. The fear of raising unhappy, socially incompetent, or even broken children didn't come true either. Our 2 daughters maneuver and enjoy the world. They make their own decisions. They have a bunch of friends around them. They're fluent in English, and they know when to run at the airport in order to catch a connecting flight. Seriously, Madita at the age of 6 noticed that people in Asia are way more courteous and friendly compared to Europe. And Smilla is skin colorblind. She doesn't care what passport one holds, as long as the person is fun. Number 2, make your spouse your partner. Without a common understanding what both aspire, it's not going to work. When I asked to go home, we started the process. And there's one unwritten rule in an expat's life. You can either decide on the next job or on the time when you want to leave the country. So we locked the time and Stefan took the available job, hoping that there would be other opportunities. If an assignment is only about one person in the family, it's most likely not going to be a happy assignment. I've seen women who have been unhappy about a lot of things in Shanghai, mainly because the wrong decisions were made in the first place. Leaving, for example, the entire household back in Germany for a 6-week summer vacation and to save money is going to cause homesickness. Number 3, put your children first. Do what is necessary in order to create an environment for them to grow into their own self. We started by telling them as soon as we knew that we would move, followed by reading books about China and practicing eating with chopsticks. We found the school first and then decided on the house. We wanted the children to have the closest possible or the shortest possible way to school, and with that, the friends around them. We did move the entire household. By the time we reached Shanghai, the children and I, Stefan had already hung up all their recent drawings, decorated their rooms. For them, it just felt like coming home after a very long vacation. We got ourselves company, someone we could trust. Our first guest was an intern at the German school. In the morning, she went to work with the children, and in the afternoon, they played. Ina got so influenced by her stay in China that she in the end decided to study Chinese language and literature. We decided to go home even though we loved it. We wanted the children to experience German life, attending a public school, using public transportation, and having the opportunity to work at the age of 16. I still remember the time when Madita started using public transportation after being used for 5 years to Mr. Bien, our driver. One day, I literally had to push her into the bus. I grabbed her shoulders and I said, Madita, you are developed according to age. No harm around you. Millions of students are doing this every day. You can do it too. And now get on the bus. We both felt shitty, but it was the right thing to do to make her grow. Women, let's shake off the guilt and fear. Let's see the opportunity in change. And let's request from our partners and our companies what we need to do, what is right for our families and children, while we do what we aspire. I knew by the time we left Germany that my chances going on an international assignment were pretty low. Numbers are clear, even though increasing. So I seized the opportunity. Going on an assignment, living and working abroad with a family is an exceptional experience. I never developed and reflected more, reacted faster to change. We all got more resilient and, most importantly, more open to the beauty of cultural differences. If you'd ask me, Vanessa, why did you climb on that roller coaster Shanghai? It's because of the experience budget. This will truly make us rich. It changes us. it changes the people around us. And with that, I believe we change the world.